Hey everyone, it's Katan from BossBabeBlog.com, and today I'm going live to talk about our March Soft Girl Sunday recap. So there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to discuss when it came to this recap. There's so many amazing people who contributed to this event being so beautiful, and there's so many beautiful takeaways that I was able to walk away with from this event. So firstly, let's go ahead and briefly shout out one of our sponsors who also sponsored the Soft Girl Sunday event, JC Fashion Finds. You can screenshot this live and go and check them out with the QR code. JC Fashion Finds Boutique provides women's apparel, style that fits your everyday and your standout moments. JC Fashion Finds Boutique is also a brand that focuses on empowering and supporting women entrepreneurs, working women who are trying to elevate their style, elevate their overall appearance, and take care of themselves more. And they do have a program that you can sign up for or that you can donate to, where they're going to be providing free apparel for working women, business owning women that need funding and support, or simply just women that are in situations where they don't have that extra income to purchase, items to look professional for business opportunities. Thank you so much, JC Fashion Finds, and everybody else that contributed. Let's go ahead and talk about this. So, excuse me. I have to lower my voice a little bit because it has been a long day of consults, and I don't want to lose my voice. But let's talk about the Soft Girl Sunday event. I'm going to pull up my social media because I do want to take the time to shout out the stylists, the sponsors, and all of the vendors. So I'm going to start off with the sponsors. The first sponsor that I would like to thank is, again, JC Fashion Finds for the maroon set that we were able to gift one beautiful woman with at this event. I also want to shout out to Nails by Fair, the brand that provided my press-on nails for this event. They were Mardi Gras style. I want to shout out to a few different other sponsors. We'll go with Greenhouse Photography. So Greenhouse Photography provided free professional headshots for professionals that needed a clean shot but maybe had limited funding at the time or wanted to receive a wonderful opportunity to get a professionally edited headshot. So thank you to Greenhouse Photography for that, and also for the event photography. We also have DJ One. So shout out to DJ One. Thank you so much for coming out and being a sponsor to this event and DJing and creating a safe space for the women to have a good time, laugh, connect, and just do all the things that you want to do when you go to, an event to have some fun. Hello, thanks for joining. Happy Monday. So the next person I want to shout out is Compassionate Souls LLC. Compassionate Souls came out and gave out free massages to all of the women that attended the event, or everyone that attended the event. And it was such a beautiful thing. I just love seeing people get treated and spoiled and, taken care of. And I just really appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate you. We're doing website giveaways. So once we reach 200 subscribers, we will be giving away one free website to one of our lovely subscribers on YouTube. And the giveaways don't stop there. We're going to have another giveaway when we reach 300 subscribers. So thank you for joining, and I appreciate you, Christopher. And feel free to let me know if you're a business owner, shopper, both, and where you're watching from if you'd like to. Okay, so now that we talked about the sponsors, I do have two more sponsors that I want to say thank you to for this event, but I will need to go to my messages. The first one is Custom Keys Designs. This is a brand owned by Kimberly, who is an event planner, and she has such a beautiful, when I say beautiful, I mean beautiful Mardi Gras setup. So if you love Mardi Gras and you enjoy taking pictures and selfies, this would have been the perfect event for you. Even though you may not have been able to attend this time, you can always come attend at our future ones and get you some beautiful selfies in. But Kimberly, founder of Custom Keys Designs, was wonderful. She created this beautiful setup with balloons and this gold backdrop, and we got so many compliments from the event. And it was just a fun place for women to come take some pictures and stuff. So I'm just glad we were able to provide that at $0 to the community, and just say thank you to all of those beautiful people. All of those beautiful people who came out to support. I truly appreciate you. The next sponsor that I want to shout out and say thank you to is the Glam Switch. So the Glam Switch is a brand owned by a makeup artist, Tasha, and she actually took the time to come on and, give all the women free eye glam. So For anyone that doesn't know what Soft Girl Sunday is about, this event is about creating a safe space for women to be able to join and just feel comfortable being soft, being themselves, opening up about things that they're going through in life. You know, women go through a lot of different things physically, emotionally, and I wanted to create a safe space and be a part of the solution, because I know a lot of times people definitely don't want to be a part of the solution. Sometimes people are just about, you know, complaining about the problem and what's going wrong. But Soft Girl Sunday was a place dedicated to the solution, creating a space where women can come and not be judged, creating a space where you don't have to perform, creating a space where you don't have to over explain yourself, creating a space where you don't have to fight to make your experience, you know, validated. You're just there to be yourself, and you can show up how you are, and you don't have to have, you know, a speech dedicated to why you're valuable or why you're important or why you should be seen. You can just come out and be seen and be supported for all of the hard work that you do, with or without an applause, as a woman. And if that is something that you support and you want to be a part of, I highly, highly, highly recommend joining Soft Girl Sunday. And even if you can't join, you can become a sponsor. You can visit our website. You can donate to the event. All of our donations go back to creating wonderful, affordable events that are either $0 or in a very affordable price point. And even the ones that aren't, we still make sure that we give quality. So I just want to take the time to say thank you to everybody that was a part of it, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have been able to have those extra smiles through the doors. I want to give a huge shout out to the guest that came out, and she actually showed me that she found me on Google. So I really appreciate that. There was a lot of people that came out, but I was just excited, you know, to hear that our business and our events were being listed on Google for people to come and shop. And her words of encouragement, as well as the words of encouragement from some of the other guests, talking about how they love the space, talking about how positive it was. I just really, really appreciated it. So I did want to say thank you to everybody that decided to attend, whether you attended as a sponsor, a vendor, a guest, or a stylist. And I also want to go ahead and shout out the stylist that came out. So let's see. The Soft Girl Sunday stylist. We had a few people that styled me. So Bling with Shell, Bougie Steps Boutique, Bella Boutique, and Nails by Fair actually styled me for Soft Girl Sunday. My dress came from Bella Boutique, my nails came from Nails by Fair, my shoes came from Bougie Steps Boutique, and my jewelry came from Bling with Shell. So if you're looking for stylish items from those kind of brands or those kind of industries, you want to head over to bossbabeblog.com and you can check them out there. Let's see. What we got. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate all of y'all. Yes, shout out to you, shout out to Christopher for subscribing. We appreciate you. Now let's get back to this positivity. So now that I've shared all of the stylists that were a part of styling me for Mardi Gras, I want to go ahead and move into saying thank you and acknowledging all of the wonderful vendors at Soft Girl Sunday. So first, as I shared what the event was about, which is creating a safe space for women to come and just, you know, be able to release, be seen, laugh, cry, vent, be embraced, be loved, be treated, be spoiled. That's what it was about, and that's what we did. So we had free foot massages, a free soft girl care package, and instead of giving away one care package, we actually gave away seven, I think six. Wait, no, 5 or 6 care packages we were able to give away because the vendors decided that they wanted to be sponsors as well. So some of them came with their own gift baskets, like, you know, self-care, foot care. Some of them had jewelry. Some of them had apparel items, t-shirts, all these beautiful things that they decided to do. So we had multiple care packages that were raffled off. We had free food and refreshments. I actually had home cooked red beans and rice. We had some not Cajun, West Indian, like Jamaican style squash, yellow squash, if you like that, with some onions and some rice for people who are vegan or, you know, have are not able to eat meat or don't eat, you know, sausage or things like that. So we had that. We had free makeup. We had a free Mardi Gras selfie booth where you could go take pictures, free music, great vibes. And we had plus size women's boutique, petite size women's boutiques. We had apparel, accessories, self-care items, foot care, free massages, all of that. And I do want to say, I want to acknowledge the beautiful people that came out to support. All of these things were free to our wonderful guests, but they weren't free to the people that were providing them. They really took their time to invest in create a beautiful service and experience. So I really appreciate every single one of you, and including the people that attended. So let's move into the vendors. So originally we had our staple artist, who is Jayla. Make by Jay is where you can go and check out all of the amazing things that she provides. Now, we did not get to have her for this event, but we will have her for some of our future ones, like we did for our karaoke event. And then we also have DJ One, and DJ One was the DJ that decided to sponsor the event. We had Greenhouse Photography, like I mentioned. Sugaring LA is the location where we hosted the event. So shout out to them. We appreciate you. And if you need self-care services, you can book there as well. They are also another verified member listed in our directory. Then we have AL Publishing and Consulting LLC. So we had a motivational speaker. They came out. They also provided a scholarship for any professionals or just people that wanted to come and share their story. I think that a lot of times people feel like their story is not important and their words are not important. But in all reality, you never know who you could be inspiring, and you never know who might feel like they're alone and be struggling and really need to hear what you have to say to help them get out of that mind space. So Lacole is a professional that assists people with publishing their own books. She can publish it for you, or she can self-publish the book. And so she provided a scholarship where it takes off. We collaborated together to provide a scholarship for people that want to self-publish their own book. So if you're someone that wants to self-publish your own book, we have that affordable price at just $25. The rest of the prices are covered for this. And it's a author coaching course. So you learn how to write, how to structure, how to design, how to market, how to promote, and how to self-publish your own book. And you learn this one time and you use it multiple times. So it's very much worth it. I actually published my book through AL Publishing and Consulting, and it took me probably about 3 to 4 days to do this because I had already started working on things. But even if you feel like it's going to take you longer because you really want to slow down on the process, she teaches you all those steps: editing, copywriting, all those things. She walks through that and walks you through the process of self-publishing your own book. So if you're interested in that, check her out. But she did a beautiful motivational speech. She was a part of the people that made me cry at Soft Girl Sunday. It was very beautiful, emotional, but she said a lot of wonderful things. But one of them that really resonated was the importance of sharing your story, because you never know the people who are really out there looking for your guidance and your support. And we can choose to do two things in this world. We can choose to be a part of the positivity, the proactivity, and the solution, or we could choose to be a part of the complaining, the negativity, the sitting in negative spaces. And so when you make the decision to decide what side you're going to be on, you start to align the way that you speak, the way that you move with that positive energy that you want to feel in your life. And you start to attract people who need that positivity, who feel alone. And so if that's something that you're interested in, check out Lacole. Her website is lacolesmith.com. The next business that I want to shout out is Legacy. So LMI Legacy Collective, LLC, another Louisiana-based business, just like Lacole AL Publishing and Consulting was. And this brand provides aroma. So the owner of this business is LaShonda, and she came and did a wonderful speech. And it was so straight to the point, but people really resonated with what she had to say, which was the importance of taking care of yourself and not letting trauma and negative experiences make you feel like you can't continue to prioritize your dreams or take care of yourself. Sometimes you skip out on, drinking that water, taking those vitamins, going to the doctor's appointments simply because you feel like, it's not worth it, or because you're stressed out, because you're going through negative things in your life. But she just talks about the importance of not letting trauma control you and still continuing to be happy and positive and pursue your calling and change people's lives for the better. So shout out to LaShonda. She did a wonderful job. It was a very beautiful speech and resonated with a lot of people. Then we had India. So India came out and she was selling her jewelry. And India, we talked about India in many of our lives, but I'll just say it again. She's wonderful. She loves to take care of her customers. And if you're needing custom handmade bracelets and necklaces and earrings, you want to check her out. They're perfect for special occasions. We weren't sure, how many jewelry vendors and people we were going to have for the event, but we ended up having, I think, three jewelry vendors, and they all have something unique about them. And one of the things that's unique about India's business is that she provides stylish pieces that are handcrafted, and they're very much like event focused. So if you have Easter or even if you don't celebrate Easter, let's say you're doing the 4th of July, let's say you're doing Juneteenth, let's say you're doing a birthday party, a bachelorette party, whatever your special occasion is, you can request a special order through India and say how many pieces you need. So she can make that and you can have great gifts for your special occasion, for your guest even. So shout out to India. We also had an Otherness Boutique showcasing that beautiful red dress that I wore at our previous event, with other stylish pieces and free gifts with purchase, just to say thanks for attending the event. Um, then we had Compassionate Souls that gave out those free foot massages, but also provides professional booking services, or professional, foot spa services that you can go and book on their website too. But at the event, they provided free foot massages. The next business that I'm shouting out is Kisses by Monique. So Kisses by Monique actually is a women's apparel and accessory boutique that provides special orders, plus size, petite, and stylish jewelry, as well as petite and plus size apparel. This boutique was showcasing soft and stylish pieces from their limited collection, and they had a sale for like $10. It was a steal. So shout out to Kisses by Monique, and Shay Creighton, the owner of Kisses by Monique. Shout out to Stephanie. So Steph Pointer, she is a financial professional, and she made a speech that, again, it was fun. It was a little bit more, I say, lighthearted, because we were doing, there was so much emotional moments in the speeches, but she did share some stuff that was really important, which was just a backstory on her life, how she came to, join the Soft Girl Sunday events, but most importantly, her passion for talking about the things that people don't always feel comfortable talking about, which is your finances, and also the importance of understanding that if you want to see that growth in your finances, you got to be comfortable having those conversations and finding your safe space to have those conversations. So she extended the olive branch to any women in our community that wanted to have those conversations and start talking about finances with somebody that is not here to judge, but here to provide solutions. So I really appreciated her message, and I'm sure people in the audience did as well. The next vendor that we had is actually Joanne. She's the founder of JoJo's Pearls from Around the World, classy, intricate boutique providing elegant designs made with freshwater pearls and more. So I actually have a gift that was provided by her. And her and DJ One both just threw me off in a positive way, but I wasn't expecting it. When you're hosting an event, the last thing you're expecting is somebody to have a special speech about you. So I wasn't prepared. And 3 of our speakers had something to say about me. But this is actually a gift that came from, oh, hold on, I took it off. Let me put it back on. This is a gift that came from JoJo's Pearls from Around the World. And these are beautiful pearl earrings. Sorry, I dropped it. These are cultured freshwater pearl, sterling silver. So this is what they look like. And this is what she gifted me with when she was doing her speech. Let me bring it a little closer. And it wasn't the pearls that, had me in tears, even though they really are beautiful. It wasn't the beautiful pearl earrings that had me, in tears. It was just the positivity and the intentional time that she took to come and share, her experience at the event, but also to be of encouragement and support of what it was that I was doing, and encourage other women to come out and step out of their comfort zone. So I really appreciated this beautiful gift. And it was just one of the many things that made me emotional and happy about that event. Okay, so now that I've shouted out everyone, I do want to briefly again go through and shout out the motivational speakers. So we had Steph in the financial industry, Lacole, a self-publisher book publishing company, and then we had Shay, owner of Kisses by Monique, as well as LaShonda, owner of LMI Legacy Collective. She actually just changed her brand name, so frequently known or previously known as LMI Collection LLC, now known as LMI Legacy Collective LLC. And then we also had, let me go back, me as a motivational speaker. My message was a lot quicker because I was thrown off by, how many tears. I wasn't expecting to do all that crying. So I had to make my message a little bit quicker. But it was a beautiful event. And there were a few things that really stuck with me. The first thing that really, stuck and resonated with me was just, when LaShonda was talking in her speech about the importance of not letting trauma or negative experiences stop you from being that light, and also from spreading positivity. there was a part where she talked about like taking care of yourself. And I always think about that because I've talked about that in our previous events about how I've seen where people actually lost their loved ones or their life from, overworking and not taking care of themselves. And so that always resonates with me to make sure I'm doing the best that I can to take care of myself, drinking my water, taking my vitamins, going to the doctor, just investing and pouring into myself on the level that I do for others. And that's what resonated with me. With Lacole, there's a few things that resonated with me, but I'll talk about that. I'm going to save that one for later. Stephanie, like I said, hers resonated with me, her leaving that olive branch for anyone that might be going through some financial things. And with Shay, I think she might have been a little thrown off by my presentation when I was presenting her to speak. But it was an emotional moment because when she was sharing like her experience, but also the things that, she was working through and just talking about not giving up, I really did appreciate, her just shouting me out. And then also talking about her experience with me. I really did appreciate those kind words. The next thing that I say, the emotional takeaway from Soft Girl Sunday this time, because there's always a takeaway every Sunday. There's just something different to take away from each one. But for me, I think in the past, because I love and care about my family, I care about my friends, I care about my clients, I care about my supporters, I care about the people that I come across and we develop a relationship. I always want to be there for people. I always want to support people. And you have to have a balance of learning to support people, but also understanding that you can't be everywhere at once. And sometimes we try to be everywhere at once, and it leads to us overcommitting in areas that will have us frustrated because we feel like we're not doing enough. And I had to look myself in the mirror and take a huge step back because of how much I was committing to things and how drained I was by the end of the day. And I also had to look at myself and hold myself accountable for focusing on my own development and not trying to force or push anyone else's development in areas that they're not asking or wanting to be developed in. And that was hard for me because I had the tendency to want to, I want to help you. I want to give you this insight. But sometimes your insight is not always appreciated. Sometimes your insight is not always needed. Sometimes your insight is not always wanted. And you have to accept that and not put so much energy into trying to make someone do something that they are not going to do unless they want to do it, and put that energy into making yourself do the things that align with your own values. And that's what I focused on doing. But in the process of changing that came this guilt of feeling like maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe I'm not saying, don't forget to go do this enough. You know what I mean? But then I had to also remind myself, when people want something, they're going to go get it. When people want something done, they're going to go do it. When people want information, they're going to go retrieve it. When you want things, you do what it takes to achieve them. And when you don't want things, you do everything else, or you just simply don't do it. And you find reasons for why you can't do it. And sometimes we don't want things for different reasons. Sometimes we don't want things because it doesn't align with our mission. Sometimes we don't want things because we fell out of love with them. Sometimes we don't want things because we're scared of what could actually happen if we actually went hard for ourselves. We're scared of success and failure. Sometimes we don't want things because it's just not what we wanted to begin with and we thought we wanted it. There's different reasons for why we don't want things. But when a person doesn't want something, they don't want it. And there's nothing that you're going to be able to do to get them to want it or to achieve it or to pursue it. And that was my fight. I didn't understand that at the time. And I kept trying to push people to want things more than I wanted it for them, you know? But that wasn't going to be the reality because in many cases, people don't want things. And I had that guilt of like, maybe, maybe I have to, push harder, or, maybe I have to go harder for people that don't want to go hard for themselves or can't go, don't feel like they can't go hard for themselves. But then I realized that that's not fair to me. And I also realized that I was doing something that I've talked about before, which is putting on that cape of wanting to do for people things that they don't do for themselves and don't see the value in doing for themselves, and be that superwoman. And by doing that, you start to slowly chip away and break yourself down, because it's almost like an impossible task to be that superwoman in those kind of situations where a person does not want to be saved or does not see the value in being saved. I'm not saying that this is in every scenario, but in many scenarios, you have to learn to accept that people's decisions are their decisions and it's based off of what they feel is right or don't feel is right. And so once I got to that place, I was able to feel better about it. But just hearing like the words from Nicole and, Shay and even JoJo, Joanne, the person that got me these beautiful earrings, um, about the impact that Boss Babe Blog has had on them, about how they feel about our events, how they feel being, a part of the community, how they feel about showing up and attending, whether it's as a vendor, as a directory member, as a supporter, as a sponsor. Just hearing, that impact, it really brought me to tears because it's what I've been working so hard to do. But also, it was that reminder that you can still be loyal to yourself while being loyal to other people. You can still be of service to other people while being of service to yourself. And then it was like a surreal realization that had I not shifted my priorities and started to prioritize taking care of myself first, these kind of events would not even be possible because I wouldn't be planning a soft girl Sunday. I'd be planning a hard girl Monday or a struggling girl Wednesday or whatever you want to call it. But if I hadn't set back and prioritized taking care of myself, what do I need to work on for myself? How do I need to better myself? How do I need to set boundaries? How do I need to communicate more efficiently? If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have been able to even conduct an event like Soft Girl Sunday. And so it really hit me how all of this comes full circle on the importance of being soft to yourself. Softness does not mean not holding yourself accountable. Softness does not mean not being intentional or not having a care. Softness means treating yourself like you love yourself. For me, that's what softness means. Softness means knowing that it's okay to be soft and vulnerable. And you don't have to be hard all the time. You don't have to be aggressive. And you can be graceful and still get your point across. And I think that there's a lot of women that either have never had that space to do that or lost that space to do that. And, we wear these filters throughout the day, throughout our life experiences, because of what we've experienced, feeling like it's not safe to be soft and to be vulnerable. And so that's my moment of vulnerability where I share how changing my mindset and making sure I was taking care of myself better really did elevate my performance to the point where it opened up doors for me to be able to host and create events like Soft Girl Sunday, where we can come together and talk about the impact that we can have on each other or that we have had on each other. And again, to hear from my clients, my friends, my supporters, my family, how they're feeling about what Boss Babe Blog or what I have been able to, do to support their vision and their goals. It was just such a beautiful thing. So I really, truly appreciate everyone's kind words. I appreciate everyone who was a part of the event, everybody that attended the event. People drove 6, 7, 4, 2 hours just to get to the event. I really appreciate every single one of you dearly. And I want you to know that every event is dedicated to us uplifting one another and being a part of the positivity. So if that's something that you want to sponsor or that you want to be a part of, I highly recommend you go and check us out at bossbabeblog.com. Go ahead and sign up. You can even go to become a donor if you just want to donate to the event and you're not necessarily wanting or able to attend it. You're able to do that as well. But just a recap on it, this event is dedicated to creating a safe space to celebrate women and all the hard work that they do in the communities, all of the responsibilities that are placed on their shoulders, and just give them that applause that maybe they don't get because they work hard without it. And I wanted to create that space for them to do that. Just come, relax, have fun. And that's what we did. So thank you so much for everyone that was a part of that. And this evening I will be back because I do have, I think, 3 more topics that I want to discuss. And I do also want to shout out to all of the wonderful people that decided to subscribe. I appreciate all of you. But give me 1 second. Let's see what our topics are for the evening. Hold on. So we've already talked about how availability does not equate to quality. We talked about how cheap does not equate to quality. We talked about, oh, forgot that does that. We just talked about the Soft Girl Sunday recap. The next video that I'm sharing is going to be 3 must-haves for an entrepreneur. So meet me there if you are a business owner and you would like to talk about this. What are 3 must-haves that I feel like an entrepreneur should have just from my experience working with people in different industries in entrepreneurship? I'll talk to you soon, guys, and I'll see you in about 5 to 10 minutes. Bye-bye.